Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new to my channel. I'm Maggie and this is Maggie May Crochet. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a ribbed border. Okay, so what I've done is I made a sample of my cluster stitch baby blanket. This particular pattern you end on the single crochet chain row. If you're making any other type blanket, just finish off your blanket to the size that you want, and then you're going to want to go around your blanket with a single crochet. That helps make sure that your ribbed border is going to be even all the way around. You'll have a nice foundation to place the stitches in. So I'm going to chain one at the end of my last row on my blanket, turn my work, and then I'm going to be placing a single crochet into each stitch all the way around my blanket. This particular row is pretty easy because you can see your stitches very well. When we get to the other side, it might be a little bit more challenging, and I will meet up with you there to show you how I space out my single crochets along this irregular side here. Okay? All right, so I just finished placing a single crochet along each stitch on my border. Now I'm going to be rounding my first corner. When you come to a corner, you're going to want to place 3 single crochets into your corner because that's going to help round out the corner nicely. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I'm coming along this irregular side, and it can be a little more challenging to figure out where to place your stitches. Just so long as you have the same number of stitches on this side as you'll have on the opposite side, you should be okay. So you can try to keep track of the number, or if you find yourself a pattern that you can place your stitches in, just do the same pattern on the other side. All right, so what I'm going to be doing for this particular pattern is placing a single crochet in this first space. Then when you pull it up, you'll see that I have this little line here. I'm going to place a single crochet in there. And there's another line. I'm going to place a single crochet here. Pulling my work apart, I can find a space here. I'll place a single crochet. There's the little line separating. I'll place one here. And there is another space here. So there is really no set rule for this. Just as long as you can make it look even and create a pattern and continue that pattern all the way through, your work will be okay. Okay, I'm coming into my corner. Again, in corners we're going to be placing 3 single crochets. So I just made my first one. I'll place my second and my third. That will round out that corner. Okay, now I'm turning my work, and I'm going to be placing my single crochets all the way across on this side. Okay, so I'm coming up on my corner, and in the corners we make 3 single crochets. So I have my first one, 2, and 3. Now this is where I started my work, so I have the tail here, and I'm going to just place my stitches over the tail to help sort of weave it in for me. So I placed my 3rd single crochet into the corner, and now I'm going to look for where I'm spacing out my single crochets along this irregular side. So I have a hole here, or a space here is my first single crochet, and I'm putting my tail into my work so I can just kind of crochet right over it. I know it's hard to see on camera what I'm doing here, but I think by the time you do this last side, you'll hopefully have the hang of it. I did go through and count my stitches, and I have 27 along each side. So when I'm finished, I should have 27 along this side too, and then I'm sure that my work is going to be square. Now I'm going to join my work with a slip stitch. And here's where we start our border. So you can create your border to any width that you like. This particular border I chained 8, and my stitches are 7 single crochets wide. You need the last stitch, the 8th stitch, as your turning chain. So we'll begin by creating our base with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I need to work my border into the back loop of each of these chains here. I'll be going into the second chain from my hook, 1, 2, placing my first single crochet. And then I'll place a single crochet into the back loop of each of these chains on my way down. All right, so I have 7 single crochets. Now when you get to the end, you're going to be placing a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. We don't put our slip stitch here into the stitch that we're working out of. We're going to the next 2. So we'll go in, make a slip stitch, go into the next one, make a slip stitch, and we're going to turn our work. Okay, so what we'll do now is place 7 single crochets into the back loop along our single crochets here. So it might be kind of difficult to see which one of these stitches you should start your work in. So what I like to do is go to the end and count back 7, and that will tell me where to place my first stitch on the way back. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'll place my stitch here, and we're going to be making single crochets into the back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th. Now this looks a little awkward, I'm sure, on camera, and it's awkward for me to do on camera, but the first row is the toughest just because it's kind of wobbly, and there we go. Okay, that last back loop there. But you can see it starting to form nicely already. After your 7th, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work. And now we're working our way back again. To know that you're placing your stitches in the correct spaces, you can always count back if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's 7. So I'm turning my work so I can find that back loop and single crochet on the way back. Whoop. Okay, so I'm back to my blanket, and now I need to make my 2 slip stitches. When you look at your work, you're going to be placing your stitches into the following 2 stitches here, not the one that we just came out of, okay? So you can kind of see that this is where my stitches are into this one, so I'm going into the next 2 for my slip stitches. Here's 1 and 2, and we're going to turn our work. I'm going to place my 7 stitches, and again I'm still one to count each time because I want to make sure that my work stays even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This stitch right here is where my work is going to go. See, now it's a little easier because I have something to hold on to as I'm placing my stitches. That last one, there we go. Okay, chain 1 and turn my work. So I'm going to keep on doing this until I get to the corner, and I'll show you how to round your corner out so that it kind of fans out like this. Okay, so I'm coming up to my corner. I've just placed my 7th stitch in this last row here, and I am going to do my slip stitches. Remember, we placed 2 slip stitches, so my next 2 would go here and here, and that second one just happens to fall on my center stitch in my corner. So I'll place my slip stitch. There's 1 and 2. Turn my work, and I'm going to continue up and come back. Okay, so here's what I want to show you now. So we've placed our 7th stitch, come back to our corner. Normally we would skip this stitch here and place a slip stitch into the next 2, but we don't want to do that because we want to form our fan. So what we're going to do is go back into that same space, that center stitch here that we just came out of, and we're going to slip stitch right there again. Okay, now we're turning our work. So we're going to do this 3 times total. So we'll have 3 of these single crochet borders right into this same center stitch. Okay, so you can see I've got my corner 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just going to pick up like I normally would. I'm going to count 2 slip stitches into the next 2, 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches. There's 1 and 2. Turn my work and continue with placing 7 single crochets in the back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my 7. Slip stitch the next 2. Alright guys, so that is coming around the corner. Now I'm going to do this all the way around until I come back to the beginning, and I'll show you how to end your work and how to join your 2 borders, the 2 edges of your border. Okay? I'll see you in a little bit. Okay guys, so I'm coming up around my corner here. I just did my fanning of 3. So I am going to now end and join my two edges here. So you need to give yourself a pretty long tail. So I'm going to say, I don't know, at least a foot, foot and a half. I just like to have plenty so that I don't run short. All right, so just pull your yarn through. Put your yarn through your embroidery needle. And you want to line your stitches up. So I'm going to take my needle and put it under the first stitch on the other side. And then we're going to just kind of whip stitch our work together. So if you turn the edges up, you'll see your V's. Put your needle underneath both parts of that V and then under the corresponding stitch on the other side. And then again the next stitch. And we're just going to do this all the way down. Okay, when you get to the end, you're just going to feed your needle in and start weaving your ends in. Okay guys, so that is your single crochet ribbed border. I will put a link above here for the original pattern to this baby blanket. It is a cluster stitch baby blanket. In that video I posted, the border was a single crochet and a double crochet, but I tell you, I think I really like this one even better. If you give it a try, let me know. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time I post a video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.